Hello, this is Lisa Russick with the podcast We Are All Psychic. Today, it's just me for a little bit. I wanted to talk to you about auras. You went to this place in Huntsville, Alabama called The Dream Maker yesterday. They have the most awesome rocks. And this is a video podcast on Spotify. I'm just recording it on my phone. I got this mama. Oh, look at this. They said it's green moonstone, and somebody in my crystal workers group gave me the official name, which was Gar something. And Gardiorite, something like that. But green moonstone is another term for it. And what I read about it is that some people think that this is like a moonstone, and some people think it's a different type of like feldspar or something. The geologists don't really agree. So I think it has a lot of names. It's supposed to be a good manifestation stone. And it's supposed to be really good for transforming your life for the better, let's hope. So at the Dream Maker, they have this setup where you go into a room. It's an aura photography booth, an aura camera. I'm going to use the picture they took of me with the aura as the podcast cover, so you'll get to see what it looked like. I was in a great mood. The people who worked there had such good energy that it just felt like a breath of fresh air being in there. So my aura came out pretty cool, and I did a bunch of reading about auras after that. In this picture, I have a mostly white going around like this around my head, and then about here on the left side, the red comes in. And then over here is a bunch of yellow. And in through the white, you can see some yellow and some green. So what they explained to me, and I did some reading on it, they say that not a lot of people have a white aura. The things I read said the positive attributes of a white aura are that we have kept an innocent kind of perspective all our lives and been able to keep it no matter what happened to us. But it can make us really naive. And what else did I read? It fit me really well. I read a lot of different things about the white aura, and I was like, wow, that does fit me, except I don't feel like I'm this pure. But I definitely feel like I am driven to service, and I'm driven to do this kind of stuff, which goes back to the calling podcast that I did a few weeks ago. I'm still thinking about that. Is this a calling? I really have to do it. I do feel compulsion to do it. I want to do it. I want to tell you about auras. So my white aura, that was what that was talking about. The green in the white is talking about the heart chakra. So the colors in your aura kind of correspond to your chakras and what these chakras represent. The white would represent the crown chakra. So basically what I read about the crown and the white is that it means your crown is open. Your crown chakra is open. Although I don't understand how everybody doesn't have an open crown chakra, because we're all connected. That's what it feels like to me, but I have a white one, so that's why I say that, I guess. Now, the green would be a heart chakra relation, and it's like healing and love and compassion. And the downside, if it has like a murky color, that's what I've been reading. If the colors are bright and vivid, it's good healing kind of. You're doing good. But if they're like a little murkier or dimmer or don't look as very healthy, then you're probably not feeling healthy. You might be worn down if they're kind of thin. If they're murkier, it's kind of where you're having troubles, is what I'm understanding from reading about these auras. I don't see auras, but occasionally I will. But I don't just, hey, there's an aura. I'm looking at myself. I don't see any aura. I see an alien in my aura. So then the yellow, we'll talk about the yellow, and the yellow is wisdom and teaching. She said, I would be a good teacher according to my aura. And your aura does change all day long. So for example, having a white aura, I would, let's say I'm engaged in a conversation with someone. I might turn blue because I'm talking, and that's the throat chakra. Let's say I'm talking about my feelings. Maybe it'd be a turquoise. I did have a lot of turquoise in my assessment that was 17 pages long. They kind of put the blue and green together, and I think they said something like, really motivated to get your message out about love, something like that. Or get your message out. And if it's got the that greenish touch to it, it's from the heart chakra. So if I had this white aura, I'd talk and maybe it would turn greenish, blue, teal because I'm expressing those ideals. And then as soon as I'm done talking or done being stimulated by the outside influences, my aura would go back to white, supposedly, from what I'm understanding in my reading. And so on the left in the picture, you'll see red. It's on my left side, not on the left side of the picture. And they explained to me that that's what's coming into my life. So I'm kind of curious about this because she said red is a more dynamic color. When I read about it, it is related to the root chakra. It usually means people who are really balanced with their root chakra and are very good at the material world. And I'm not good at the material world. I have a really hard time holding on to a dime. So, I just don't think that would be what was coming as far as career or money. But when I saw the red, I thought of passion and love and danger and sacrifice, the things you learn with the tarot with the color red. And those things are also about your root chakra, danger. Danger. So I don't feel danger coming. I have felt money coming, but I just have that sense sometimes. But I don't think the red is money. I think it's moving in with my boyfriend, maybe. Passion. And then the yellow coming in from the right side, on my right side in the picture, she said this would be where I am right now and kind of coming from. And her name was Jessie, and she explained this to me. And the 17-page report explained this to me. So the yellow coming in and on is kind of saying where I am is learning, teaching, expressing these things. And then they had a breakdown of all my chakras, and that they have a photograph that they took of all my chakras. And it was just beautiful on the screen. I was like, oh, that was my chakras. It looks so cool, guys. If you get a chance to do this, do it. It's worth whatever. It's just so much fun. And you can go back and get it done again and again and see how you're changing or growing or learning or not. No, you wouldn't do that. If you're going to get your aura checked, you're probably doing all right. I recommend you doing it. So some other colors you can see are blue, which is, like I talked about, related to the throat chakra expression. In my report, she said there was like a ball over my throat. I think she said it was blue, dark blue. I think that's what she said. And she said that means I have something to say and I really want to say it. And it's true. I want to say we're all psychic. Oh, I forgot to ask myself, do you think we're all psychic, Lisa? Yes, I do. And then if you have like purple, it's like you're the mystic, the psychic, the empath. You're really using that energy of the intuition and your own juju to get the information you're getting from around you. And then we have orange. I always think of orange as a sacral, and I think of it as a creative color. I think creative thinking, and it's also your sexual area, sexual organs and pleasures. So I feel like when I see orange creativity, I mean, how much more creative can you get than making a baby? So that's why I think they associate that area with pleasure and creativity for one thing. But also it's like when you have those gut feelings, like for me, it is kind of down in there. Like, oh, if I'm scared or something, that's where I feel it first. And I feel it here too. Like, so I think those are the colors I learned. Oh, and indigo is like the purple, but the indigo would be closer with the third eye. And the violet is like moving, and the indigo in the crown. So I think that those two are related, but it's not the same as white for some reason. I don't, like I said, I'm going back to, I don't understand how everybody's crown chakra isn't open, because it just seems like we'd have to be that way to even survive from how I understand the energy and the way I feel it. So if any of you get an aura reading, I would love to hear about it. I'm going to ask a question at the end of this, in this podcast. If you want to look at the description on Spotify, I think it is, you will see the questions. I'm going to ask you if you looked at your aura and if you got a photographer, did the photography. If you're in Alabama, North Alabama, go to Dreammaker and do it. They're all awesome. And they do it's just, that screen is huge. Oh, and in the screen one of my whole body, my solar plexus, I have been doing serious work on my solar plexus since I met Allie. If you've been listening to the podcast, she is my friend in Serbia who did Allie's Bag of Tricks podcast. And she basically walked me through a technique she calls NLP therapy. It's her jujutsu, I think, to get rid of my agoraphobia, and I haven't had a problem with it really since. And but she had started with working on the solar plexus. She says, imagine there's a sun, and when I looked at this picture, my solar plexus was like, whoa, wall, and it had like kind of these like mandala kind of looking things all the way around it. It was really strange. I don't know what it means, but I she didn't either. We both were like, look how big it is. So apparently, when I read that report, that would mean that I'm very strong will. I have a feeling of wanting to be cheering everybody up all the time. I have positive attitude to other people. She says it's also how you appear to other people is the color that is coming in from the right, or on the right side of me, not the right side of the picture, where the yellow is coming in. And she says that was showing kind of what other people see in me, like an optimistic kind of, woo, hey, cheery, cheery. And I never saw myself that way until I started like listening to more of the podcasts and watching some of them. I guess I am a little bit upbeat compared to a lot of people. But maybe not. Maybe I just express it very well. And like I said, I worked hard on that, getting that solar plexus. Now I got to work on everything else, I guess. Well, everything seemed pretty even. It looked like a good read. And I was in a great mood, I think, because that place is so awesome. I mean, it's filled with rocks. How can it not be? So, yes, listeners, if you would like to let me know how that goes for you, if you get your aura read by anyone, I would love to hear. Oh, the other things, pinks and magentas. I think they are like also healing colors, compassion, kind of, you think of that, you know. And if you see any spots, and I did read you can find orbs in some of these pictures. I didn't have any orbs in mine, but that has, if you have orbs in yours, I'd love to hear about that and what you were told about that. So I'm going to keep working on this aura stuff. I'm going to get it down. And maybe someday I'll be able to read our guests' auras. That would be really rad. And let's see, I'm going to look at myself again. Can I see my aura? I see some purple dots, but I think it's just the light from the alien. I always psych myself out with, I think I see one. Still looking. I don't see it. Anyway, I do want to let you know that Misty and I, if you read the last blog post I made recently, I think I did that this morning or yesterday, we are planning on doing a retreat. And we are hoping to invite up to 20 people to come. And we're going to teach you stuff and have a good time for a weekend somewhere in Alabama. We're looking at Dauphin Island, Fairhope, and Gulf Shores right now. I want to do it in Alabama. I think that'd be kind of cool. And the beaches are great. So if you're interested in that, I will also add a poll and let me know if you're interested in joining us at the retreat. We're looking at asking $700 per person, and you have to get there. We don't pay for the transportation. We'll have everything else covered, though. And so if you're interested in that, let me know. And of course, lastly, I want to thank my sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app where you can get advice from psychics and empaths so you can get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. I can hear Misty going, you deserve it. You deserve it. You do. And lastly, I want to thank Misty. I love you. I'm going to her house in about 15 minutes, so I'll probably mix this later, maybe. I'll wait to hear from her. I might get it done. It's not too long. I haven't cut it at all. That never happens. So I'm going to her place, and we're going to try to do some juju. Some very important juju that involves melting stuff. Wish us luck. And of course, lastly, listeners and watchers, I love you guys. And thank you so much for always supporting us. And you can donate $5 to us if you go to the Spotify for Podcasters app, I think, and you donate. I don't know. I'm not really sure how that works, but they gave me a QR code and I can put it somewhere. Maybe I'll put it on the cover art with my aura picture. If you want to donate $5, you just go boop, boop. I think that's all you do. I haven't tried it yet, but we'll see. And if you don't want to donate $5 and you still want to support the podcast, you can buy a t-shirt, you can get stickers, you can get, I sell jewelry in the shop, and I give readings on Everclear as Lisa P, L-E-S-A-P, the letter P. And I make jewelry. These are some rings I made, like, use your crystal ball ring. You see the ball moves. I love this little crystal ball ring. I made this one and I was going to sell it, but then I fell in love with it. This is my Morgana ring. I wear it all the time. And then this is a pyrite. I have a bunch of these. So if you like that pyrite, I'm happy to make custom orders. I love doing custom orders. And all the jewelry, whenever I make jewelry, I try to put the juju in it for what purpose is of the stone and what you want it for. So, and, you know, you can kind of look at the aura colors and look at stones and understand how the stones work pretty well, too. And they align with your chakras. So if you are going, this is just a little aside, if you're going to maybe a Reiki session, sometimes a Reiki healer might lie or lay down stones across your chakras that match, that they think they would vibrate or resonate with your chakras and bring them into alignment while they do the Reiki. Some people do that. Some people just do it while they're lying on their bed. Like Misty does that. She'll lie on bed and just cover herself with rocks. So, and the colors she wants to feel. And listeners and watchers, we're always looking for guests. We're pretty booked up for about a week, and we have a very exciting guest. I already told you she was coming in one of the podcasts recently, but my friend Joni from 7th grade on is coming to be on this show, JoJo Wiggy. That's all you need to know. She left us a really great review, and I didn't even know she listened to the podcast, and we got back in touch, and I asked her if she wanted to be on it. And she said, yeah. She's a Catholic school buddy, so I'm really curious to see what she thinks about all this stuff. We have so many stories. We played Ouija board together in 7th grade. We have a story about that. Maybe it was 8th grade, and we used to do all kinds of fun stuff. We used to try to do out-of-body experiences together with our friend Teresa, and we'd meet at the mall. We never made it, as far as I know. So at that, I just want to say thank you again. Have a wonderful time wherever you are. And I hope I hear from you guys. I love my listeners and watchers, and Misty loves you too. Have a great day. Bye.